I'm going to say something that I never thought I would ever say or feel. I have hit the point that when I see a Harris Wall sign, it enrages me. And it's not because I'm super political. It's not even because I'm pro-life. It's because I have never watched my husband work so hard and us still have next to nothing.
Kids' socks, your husband's job wasn't adding up to what it had used to add up to, and you guys were spending like $400 to $500 on groceries each week, and it just was untenable. And you would get so mad because people like Whoopi Goldberg would get on here and tell you it was the moral choice to vote for Kamala Harris. But I mean, in your words, like, who are they to tell you that?
She said, if I see a bumper sticker with Harris Walls on there, it enrages me. What do you mean it enrages you? What are you even talking about? We tried to warn you about this.
The stock market is officially in free fall after Donald Trump announced that tariffs on 25% will be coming from Mexico and Canada tomorrow, and there's nothing that will stop them. That's not all. Prices of goods are about to skyrocket. I just did a full breakdown of everything that'll be impacted on my Substack link to.
Hey fam, Grace here once again. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that from wherever you my lovelies are watching this from, you're doing great and God has protected you and preserved you very well. To those of you that continuously give support to me on here, I do appreciate you. To my members, a shout out to you guys. You do me good. And as always, we're back with another interesting episode of MagaYteW. Yeah, I found this clip on TikTok of this MAGA lady that was literally crying and crashing out because guess what? She hates it when she sees a sticker of Kamala on any car bumper or seeing a post or a wall post of Kamala anywhere, because according to her, she is the source of all the problems and everybody that follows Kamala is out of touch with reality. But she's forgetting that the economy she was praising under Trump, that was an economy that was built by Obama. Or lots of other people are also crashing out because stock is literally now making losses for them and prices are going so high they cannot understand what is going on. Yeah, we are going to watch these clips together. We will come back and talk about it. But guys, before we even get there, a lot of people have been sending me comments about my skin that is so greasy. It is, you know, I look unhygienic. Oh my god, you guys, I don't do makeup, so the only thing I can do is either an oil or something. Like, I have to make sure my skin is moisturized and well hydrated. But we will get into the skin, whatever. Let's watch this first, come back and talk about it.
I'm going to say something that I never thought I would ever say or feel. I have hit the point that when I see a Harris Wall sign, it enrages me. And it's not because I'm super political. It's not even because I'm pro-life. It's because I have never watched my husband work so hard and us still have next to nothing. So when I see celebrities and elites with trust funds get on TV and tell me what's morally right, I'm infuriated. Because you tell me what's morally right about rationing bacon to your children. You tell me what's morally right about not being able to afford Christmas for your children. Despite your husband working, despite having a decent income, he makes 80 to 100 grand a year, and it's not enough. Especially considering 4 years ago, we were doing fantastic. We remodeled our kitchen. We paid off all our debt. My husband got a tractor to work on our farm, and now we can't pay for any of it. Under President Trump, my family was thriving, and for the last 4 years, we are having the life sucked out of us financially.
So last year you were crying because the cost of everything was too high. You had to ration bacon, you couldn't buy your kids socks, your husband's job wasn't adding up to what it had used to add up to, and you guys were spending like $400 to $500 on groceries each week. And it just was untenable. And you would get so mad because people like Whoopi Goldberg would get on here and tell you it was the moral choice to vote for Kamala Harris. But I mean, in your words, like, who are they to tell you that when they're all rich elites with like trust funds and all that type of stuff? So how dare they tell you like what the moral choice is when you were suffering the economic consequences in your mind of Joe Biden? So you got the guy that you voted for, the literal elite Nepo baby, who's given the government over to a whole bunch of other elite Nepo babies who are now gutting the government and taking things out of many of the things that your family depends on in terms of services and supports within the government. And they're taking that to put money back into the money of the real elites, not Whoopi Goldberg, but into the pockets of actual billionaires, right? But suddenly the tears are gone. The tears have evaporated. Like I can't find them. Because see, nothing is cheaper anymore. It's not like you're having less of a time buying bacon, or easier time buying bacon now, but the tears are gone, which is very suspicious to me because it's almost as if a certain campaign had a big budget for social media influencers who looked a certain way and sounded a certain way and could cry on cue to relate to people that they wanted to cross over to vote against their own interests. And to say that it was about prices and all that, when actually at the end of the day, it was just good old-fashioned racism. And as long as he keeps delivering on racism, you guys will stay in the fold.
When I see a Harris Wall sign, it enrages.
Okay, I want everybody to go back and watch that whole video. All right? What you are seeing is MAGA tears. MAGA tears. All right? She said, if I see a bumper sticker with Harris Walls on there, it enrages me. What do you mean it enrages you? What are you fucking talking about? We tried to warn you about this. We tried to warn you that if that orange buffoon got elected, this is probably what was going to happen. We warned you over and over and over and over again, but you wouldn't listen. Trump is the one that said he was going to solve inflation on day one. But you know what he did instead? He went ahead and renamed the Gulf of Mexico. Right? He said the Ukrainian war was going to be over day one when he got in office. But you know what he did instead? Picked a fight with Canada, the Panama Canal, and Greenland. These are the things that he's most concerned about, not your tears. He couldn't care less. And stop saying, well, under Trump's first term, I had a really great... It's because he was coasting on Obama's coattails. How many times do we have to tell you that? Stop! Stop spreading misinformation, because what you're saying is misinformation. Okay? It's misinformation. And by the way, if you're struggling, get a second job. I did. When I wasn't getting any child support from my ex-husband and I needed to take care of my children, I got a second job. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You got to do what you got to do. You're not the only one that's ever had to deal with a tough situation. You're not the only one that's ever had to deal with inflation and the high cost of things. There's a lot of us that have had to deal with it. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't get on TikTok. Of course, there was no TikTok during those days. But I didn't get on any social media platform and cry about it. I sucked it up and I did what I needed to do to take care of my children. Period. So if you want to blame anybody at all, blame your orange Jesus. Blame him because he couldn't care less about you. He couldn't care less about you, unlike Kamala Harris and Joe Biden that genuinely cared about the American people. That's it.
But also for people like her, unfortunately, I don't know what they are going to think about the change of events from what they were expecting. Of course, some of them have already started experiencing it, but to this...
We have some major breaking news right now. The stock market is officially in free fall after Donald Trump announced that tariffs on 25% will be coming from Mexico and Canada tomorrow, and there's nothing that will stop them. In less than an hour since this announcement, the Dow Jones is down more than 820 points, almost 2% in just an hour. This has now erased almost all the gains that the market had made since Trump became president, which means Americans are losing money fast. But that's not all. Prices of goods are about to skyrocket. I just did a full breakdown of everything that'll be impacted on my Substack, link to my bio. Go check it out, subscribe for free. But in essence, Mexican goods include produce, like avocados, include electronics, include cars. Cars could rise up to $12,000 to buy a car. Canadian goods include lumber, include pharmaceuticals, and so much more. It's coming fast, and you need to be aware, and I will continue to report as much information as we get when we get it, but right now the market is falling. I'll provide you updates every step of the way. Follow along for more.
Donald Trump is the new president! And crypto's back, baby! Oh, the markets have actually been so shit. I'm losing so much fucking money. I literally didn't, bro. Just so you guys get perspective, I lost money this month.
Oh god, that feels so good to watch. The thing is, you guys were told through his entire campaign that he was going to be doing blanket tariffs. We screamed from the rooftops that it is an absolutely horrific thing to do to the economy and that we were going to experience a massive inflation as a result. And when we experience massive inflation, or the threats of tariffs are looming over us and then coming back and then looming over us, it really does create a lack of consumer confidence. The economy starts to tank, your stocks start to tank, your Bitcoin is sitting dangerously low. People are like, whoa, what's going on? Like, you weren't told? Like, did you really not think he was going to go through with the blanket tariffs? And now you're suffering the consequences. Even a commenter under your video, this was the first comment. He was like, damn, my portfolio was much better under Sleepy Joe. Bring him back. But enjoy everything you voted for. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow or you won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
Are you ready to admit it yet? I'm sorry. That you were wrong and everything's better now that Trump's here? What the unholy fuck are you talking about? Well, you know, he's been president for 2 weeks and we are already in one of the most dire existential dilemmas I've ever seen in my entire life. Kinda dramatic. You wanted him to fix the economy, right? And he's doing that. The stock market is plummeting. Gotta go down before it can come back up. Eggs are more expensive than they've ever been. Gotta go up before they can come back down. He's decimated our labor force and separated families with mass deportation. Well, they shouldn't have broken the law. He's a convicted felon who has already broken the law multiple times in his first 2 weeks as president. Name one law he's broken. Freezing federal funds. That's against the law. The president is legally obligated to use the funds that Congress approves. Sometimes you gotta break the law to make the law. You're in danger right now. Do you realize that? You are. We're all in danger. He pulled us out of the World Health Organization at the beginning of a burgeoning bird flu pandemic where America is likely to be the epicenter of outbreaks and deaths. America first! Americans will be the first to die and the last to see it coming. Look, if you don't like it, why don't you just get out? I would like to, but I don't dare to get on a plane right now because he got rid of all the people whose job it was to make sure planes are safe. That's that Elon efficiency. In 2 weeks, he's already presided over a slew of air traffic disasters and deaths that can be directly linked back to him and his policies. Those were DEI. Let me ask you something, genius. If DEI is responsible for those accidents and DEI has been a problem since the 1960s, then how come these accidents just started happening in the last 2 weeks after he implemented policies that directly impact the safety of air travel? No, shut up. Don't talk. Just sit there and think about it. If DEI is the problem, why didn't we see more evidence of DEI incompetence before now? If the point of anti-DEI policy is to hire qualified candidates based off of merit, then why is the Secretary of Defense a white supremacist alcoholic news host with zero military experience? Why is our new health czar a guy with brain worms and no medical background who thinks black people have a different immune system than white people do? Just sit with these questions. Actually think about them before opening your mouth. You're not smart enough to answer them yet. You really need to sit there and turn your thinking cap up to 11 because you are a phenomenally unintelligent person. I'd say you have a rock for a brain, but that would be giving you too much credit. You've got a pebble rattling around in there, man, and for some godforsaken reason, that pebble happens to be deeply racist and homophobic and misogynistic. You are everything wrong with humanity. You suck. Okay, but like...
My name's Kelly. I'm in North Carolina. I can't believe these fucking motherfucking stupid fucking idiots voted for this motherfucker and all these fucking oligarchs, and my life fucking is miserable right now, and I fucking hate it all, including every single fucking person that voted for this orange fucking Cheeto motherfucker. Thanks for letting me vent.
I want you guys to let me know what you think in the comment section about this. someone that gets enraged by just seeing a sticker of a woman that is not even in power. I think some MAGA people be looking for anybody to blame for their problems instead of blaming the real problem, which is the man that they voted for. They will talk about everything else, but they will never ever point out who is the source of their problems. And some of these people are unappreciative of black people efforts when Obama was in office, because after him, that is when Trump came in office. And I heard a lot of people saying that, Trump inherited an economy that was already built, that was already doing great. Yeah. And he made people assume that he's the one that has bettered things. And now it is making a lot of sense, because everybody is saying, everything was so good during Trump's time. But how many of them acknowledge that everything was actually better during Obama's, time? So it is the delusion that they be having that really does not make sense. And I do know that, unfortunately, I even have people that follow me here that are Democrats that were investing in stocks. And this loss is going to be to them as well. And my heart feels like I feel for you guys. I feel you. And I hate that this is happening. The tariffs are now in effect. Yeah, the grocery, I don't know if you've seen clips of them saying, no, we didn't care about grocery prices. You are right, you never cared about grocery prices. You voted for a white man that is going to reinstate the white supremacy. Because if you could convince a poor white person that is better than anybody else, they really don't, you can take anything from them. And that's exactly the hope that this man was giving his fellow palm-colored people. And now the things are falling apart. We have a book over here written by an African author called Things Fall Apart. It's very nice. Check it out. I don't know if it's Wole Soyinka who is the writer, but check it out. But that is what it looks like right now. Things are falling apart, and they are also falling apart. Some of these people are so very individualistic, and all they cared for is themselves. And to be honest, if none of these things even had any effect on them, you wouldn't see them even coming out and crying. But also, let's be honest, a lot of these people that were shouting, "Dad is home," right? Right now, the tears are not there. Right? The tears are not there. They are not showing any outrage of how he's making things difficult. Of course, we have seen those that are coming out to address the concerns, that are regretting their votes. But the pure Trumpies, the ones that, were campaigning for him, saying Dad is going to be back home, Kamala is not going to be able to be him in November. Yeah, they are nowhere. But then yet, back then they were crying about the prices of groceries. Things are going to even get worse, unfortunately, because your trade partners are going to literally they are not going to trade with you in the first place. And those that will trade with you, you guys will face it, because you're going to buy these things at a very, very expensive price. Say she was only talking about how she was able to renovate her bathroom. It's going to be very hard for people to even, own homes right now. It's going to be very expensive for people to buy cars. It's going to be very hard. I am seeing an issue of homelessness that is skyrocketing because people can't be able to afford life. And all for who? For the billionaires that are pocketing all this money in the name of, we are making America better. We are exposing all these, corruptions and all of that. If he's gonna make things better, I don't see it happening in the near future. It's quite going to be very, very pressing and difficult for a lot of people. And I think that's why I always tell people, get your passport and try moving. Even those that have been depending on Social Security, in the next 90 days, the leader of the Social Security sent some warnings.
It's because they're about to come after y'all Social Security, okay? And we have tried to tell y'all that they are doing it. And he made it plain and simple on the podcast.
Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. But the obligation for Social Security is your entire retirement career. If you look at the future obligations of Social Security, it far exceeds the tax revenue. So basically, people are living way longer than expected. And there are fewer babies being born. So you have more.
He said that y'all are living too long and not having enough kids. And he called it a Ponzi scheme. Hell, I was confused. Was he talking about Social Security or the meme coins that Donald Trump was selling? That's neither here nor there. And we all should have been well aware as soon as they started using the word entitlement instead of benefit. By the time you get through ripping and running and hooping and hollering around from podcast to podcast and circle back to us, we still gonna have one question to ask you, Elon. Where is Amy Gleason?
So I hope that people are ready to face the consequences of their own actions. But to be honest, if you cried then of the prices of the groceries, we want to see the same outrage. Keep that same energy. But also, I think that is why people keep bringing these videos, because they want to show you and hold you accountable. But say that accountability cannot be in the DNA of people that voted for a convicted felony. I don't think they would be very good with accountability, and even if things are getting worse, they will, like I said, they will still find everybody else to blame than, the real person. They've been doing this for quite some good time. Where's Kamala now that election is done? I thought she's gonna... You didn't put her in office. What else do you want her to do? And how, you're not even holding the person you voted for accountable for the things that are happening, but then you want Democrats to come and save you. Seriously, make it make sense. Back to my skin, guys. I really just make sure that I moisturize it, but I think I'm gonna work out on my lighting. I think my lighting is super, right? It's super direct on me. And I think that is why it gives an illusion that, oh, I am so glowing, oh, my skin is so greasy, No, my skin is okay. But also, to be honest, guys, as much as it might be coming from a very nice place, I am just going to say it out here. Some of these things really create insecurities on people. But the thing is, for me, I love looking at my skin. I do. So, and I don't feel bad for glowing, right? For black people, you know it. I don't use makeup, right? That's a choice I made because I have a sensitive skin. I make sure my skin is hydrated and moisturized, and that's all I can do for now. I am sure at the same time, if I come here with a dry skin, a lot of people will be like, oh, Gracie, work on your skin, you look so dry. So I think at some point, you really are not going to please everybody. But I just wanted to really put that out there and say, I know it might be coming from a very good place, but trust me, it's not because I am unhygienic. I am very far away from that, and that's very inappropriate to even say to anybody. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think you would feel good if you received this. But either way, I do appreciate criticism. But off the skin thing, I want you guys to let me know what you think about these Trumpies that are literally looking for anybody to blame, except themselves. Put your thoughts in the comment section, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. I will highly appreciate that. And until then, my name is Gracie. I do love all of you. Stay safe. Things are about to get tougher, but you guys are more stronger than you ever know. And get your passport. Bye.